This is the replay. This is the replay. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Come on in. We're going to get started here shortly. All right. It has now officially been 30 seconds. For those of you who are not familiar, I am Delilah Bartlett, and I am coming with a replay. So last night I did this phenomenal live I did a phenomenal live. Somehow it was not recorded. There were several of you who joined last night, and I thank you for joining. I'm encouraging you to, if you had questions about the content that you heard, leave your questions here and I'll get to them. I don't want to miss them. But those of you who did not make it yesterday, here is the recording that you were anticipating. We are talking about career acceleration. I want to thank you for those who voted on the topic. We were debating if in the month of January we were going to do either career acceleration or healthy boundaries, healthy workplace boundaries. You guys wanted to hear about career acceleration. There was a bit of a tie, and I settled the tie by way of there were a group of young women from Prairie View University who asked about, like, hey, I was with them one day and they were like, hey, how do you kind of acclimate to a new space? What do you do? And so I shared with them the 3 Ps, and I'm going to share them with you today. But that's why we're here. I am here to talk about when you shift into a new role, right? It could be a little bit intimidating, a little bit scary. When you shift into a new role, how best to do that as you're looking for career acceleration, how best to do that. And it's a short 3-step roadmap that can really put you on the road to acceleration. And so we're going to talk about that this morning. But for those of you who are not familiar with who I am, let me do a brief introduction. My name, Delilah Bartlett. Delilah Bartlett, it says a lot. I am a leader and coach extraordinaire. I lead and coach in any space that I am in. You'll notice that about your purpose. It just tends to show up no matter where you are. And that's what happens for me. I do that in many different ways. I am a 25-year veteran in corporate America. I wear that kind of proudly. I started in a frontline position and I built intentionally a career that is just amazing. And I'm still thriving. And so when I say that to quantify, I started in the front line and I'm now in the top 1% of the organization. I'm also a coach. I own a business. I'm a coach by certification and trade, because I do it everywhere I go. I'm coaching, but I also own and operate a career and personal development leadership coaching business, where I help other leaders like you get clear on their purpose, the potential inside of them, and where they should show up with that gift. Clarity is so powerful. This year, I'm talking all about confidence, and clarity definitely creates confidence. And then lastly, I operate an online ministry where I really help people with their walk with Christ, develop a more effective walk with Christ. So it's not just the Bible, but it's application. And so I do those things. Today, I am talking specifically about career. I'm talking specifically about career. All of who I am is the foundation of that, are the values that support that. But we're talking about career acceleration. So let's get at it. Now that you know a little bit about me, let's get at it. And so career acceleration, you go into a new role or you want to tap into a level of your current position that you haven't. Here are 3 steps in a roadmap that can help you do that, that will create a framework for you to do that. Because I know sometimes you're going into the space and you're not quite sure where to start. So this is going to help you. The 3 Ps. First P, phonics. Although it sounds like an F, it begins with the P. And so it's our first P, phonics, the language of an organization, the language of an industry, the language of your role. It is critical as you're coming into the role, or as you're looking to elevate. What are people talking about at this level? What are people talking about in this function or in this role or in this new industry? What are the key metrics? How do they measure them? How do they refer to those measurements? What are the important things that you're hearing repeatedly being talked about? And you're going to have to be curious. There's no way that this roadmap works if you're not curious to want to know more, to want to learn more. Each one of these steps is going to require curiosity. The first step on the roadmap, first P out of the three, phonics. Get into the language, tune in, understand what they're talking about. What are they repeating? What are you hearing consistently? Tune into those, get your little journal, write down the words, and be curious as to what they describe. And as you become more and more aware of the language that's being used, you'll notice that that language is describing the second P, products, um, products or processes, sorry, product/process, right? So the language that someone is using is identifying either a product, it's referencing a product or process that is in this organization. And so the phonics leads you, the words lead you to then now the hard product or the process that is being used. And so now you need to be curious here. What about this? Learn about this product or these products. Learn about this process or these process. Become intimately aware about what they do, why they do what they do, the schematics of whatever they are, the phonics, the language that you're hearing. You walk into a room, you're becoming familiar, or you've gotten into a new level of room and you're hearing what people talk about, and you're like, okay, that must be important. I'm going to jot that down in my journal. And now I'm going to be even more curious and go drill down and to see what this is actually describing, right? When someone says, oh, what did I use in the original? Man, in the original recording last, I think I said red light. And so someone's asking, you go to the meeting and they're like, red light, red light. It's, the red light needs to be 50%. The red light process needs to be at 50%. The red light is critical to our organization. Red light, you're like, okay, so this red light is really important. And don't be ashamed to ask people, what is the red light? Where do I find it, right? And someone's going to say, oh, you can find the red light over there. And then that red light language is going, and the curiosity about it, it's going to then lead you into the process and product about the red light. And so now you're at the process and product about the red light, and you're diving in to learn about the red light intimately, right? You're becoming quickly a key subject matter expert because you have the information, knowledge about the red light, right? So you've taken the phonics, allowed it to lead you into the product/process, because some things are depending on your role in your industry. You're either product or process, and you're going to now allow that step in the roadmap to end you at the last step in the roadmap, which is people. And so the language, you've picked up the language in phonics, you have this framework for acceleration. This is how you accelerate. You get clear on what people are talking about and what's important. You get curious about it. You allow that to then drive you to what they're describing, right? To become intimately aware of the product or process. And you allow that then to introduce you to the people. This is several different types of people. The people are people who empower, support, or execute the product or process. And so now you know who the players are that are going to empower this thing to happen, right? So who are really critical on decision making and empowering this process or product, who's supporting it, who has to come together for it to be successful in the build or maintenance of the product or process, and then who's actually executing it. And so you're becoming familiar with all three groups of people. You're going to make connections. So then you have the network, and you're putting your name out there, and they know you as the person who talks about the red light that's important to the organization role or function. And now now that you're making the connections and establishing your brand within this area that's important, right? And that gives you an opportunity to kind of show up and show out. People are going to quickly say, oh, you show up to the table and you contribute. You're aware, you have knowledge, information of not only what's important, how it operates, but also the people who are necessary to ensure the success that everyone is looking for in the front end that they're talking about that particular product or process. Career acceleration. Simple 3-step. I'll probably come back and do like a webinar or something that really breaks that down, but I wanted to just come offer that to you gratis so that you can just begin to use it today when you go to work. Like, figure out what are people talking about. Go dig into the product or process. Establish who empowers, who supports, and who executes, and begin to build those relationships and watch your name just start to hum around. Any questions, comments? I know it's early in the morning. I don't know what happened yesterday, y'all, but I was like, I cannot not put this back out there. Like, this is gooey goodness. You guys know sometimes I say gooey goodness, just so good. So when you catch this on the replay, #replay, and I'll come back and answer your questions. Let me know how it works for you. If you have any follow-up questions, I'm here and available for that. Anything around leadership, career, personal development, ministry, I am your girl. Feel free to reach out. I'll talk to you guys later. I am off to have an amazing day, and I hope the same for you. Talk soon. Let's get big.